Well, good Friday morning, Southeast Texas. Take a look outside, take a tour of our cameras first this morning. Our Roofing 911 Sky Cam Network here in Beaumont, sponsored by Packard and Prey. We have partly cloudy skies heating up pretty quickly. We have temperatures already around 90, 91. We're headed for the mid-90s coming up later this afternoon. So a hot day coming up. Of course, we've been on the edge of that ridge of high pressure the last few days. It's beginning to move out now, so we're starting to see, you can see that in the cloud field for sure today. Certainly have more cumulus clouds than we did yesterday. A little bit of growth to some of those as well, so we'll look for about a 30% coverage of showers and thunderstorms coming up later this afternoon. They'll be scattered around. They'll be working from east to west or northeast to southwest again this afternoon as we take a look at our Roofing 911 Sky Cam Network outside of our 12 studios, sponsored by Mid-County Plumbing. You see partly cloudy skies across southeast Texas with very warm temperatures. Now this morning, we started out very warm like we have the last couple of mornings. We started out some areas in the upper 70s, close to 80 for lows this morning, especially down around Port Arthur. You stayed around 80 degrees, of course, lower 80s along the coastline, and we'll probably see that again coming up tonight. Now, if you're one of the areas that'll see a shower or thunderstorm later today, of course, your lows may drop a little bit below the upper 70s, but overall, a warm night. Let's go over to southwest Louisiana. Roofing 911 Sky Cam Network now over in Lake Charles. Also partly cloudy skies, no real showers off in the distance yet, but you can notice these cumulus clouds compared to yesterday, they were flat. A little more height on them today, a little more growth, which is indicating that high pressure is slowly moving away, and that will allow some of these clouds to grow into showers and thunderstorms later this afternoon. You know, nothing severe expected, just typical summer storms. And once again, about a 30% coverage expected later today, even over in southwest Louisiana, about a third of their area seeing some storms late today. We're talking after 4 or 5 o'clock as we head towards sunset. And up in the lakes area, our Roofing 911 Sky Cam Network up in Jasper, sponsored by Provalis. Little more sun there, but still even up in the lakes, partly cloudy skies. Now Jasper was one of the areas yesterday that saw a late afternoon shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon. Could see that again today, later today. You'll have a 20 to 30% coverage up there as well. You started off in the mid 70s in the lakes this morning. You'll get up into the mid 90s, of course, up there as well this afternoon, 94, 95, maybe even 96 for a high. But our temperatures beginning tomorrow into next week, we'll get back down to the lower 90s, 91, 92. So every little bit helps. And of course, over in Orange, our Roofing 911 Sky Cam Network, sponsored by the Horseman's Western Store. Partly cloudy skies there as well. Orange actually almost saw a shower yesterday. That was a thunderstorm that developed in far western Calcasieu Parish late yesterday afternoon. Didn't quite make it to Orange, but fell apart. But one thing I'm noticing today is the winds in the mid-levels of the atmosphere are a little stronger. So any shower that pops up later today, at least it'll be moving a little bit. So get a shower near you, maybe you'll have a better chance of seeing that shower. Allergy report, still some pretty good news here, especially in the tree, and the grass is low. The weed there in the medium. Now the mold still a little bit elevated. It's in the medium category, and that should stay that way over the next few days. We're running in the upper 80s to lower 90s already across the area. 91 in Houston, 90 in Conroe, 87 in Huntsville. All right, let's take a look at radar now. Not much out there, a couple little showers north of the Bolivar Peninsula there, and a couple little showers south of Cameron out in the Gulf. These are moving away, but nothing over land yet, but that'll change later this afternoon. Get heated up, reach that convective temperature later today. And with high pressure slowly weakening and moving out this afternoon, we'll give it once again about a 30% coverage of showers and thunderstorms later on today. Then if anything develops, of course, it'll fall apart this evening once we lose daytime heating. We do have a couple of upper level disturbances coming in too that we'll show you coming up here in just a moment. Across the state, look how quiet it is. Of course, we have the cumulus clouds here locally. Central North Texas, lots of clear skies. Of course, high pressures out west, so a lot of heat expected in West Texas today under those mostly sunny skies. They're still dealing with this weak boundary, but it's pretty much gone now. And I imagine the front even not being there because it's pretty much gone. But notice off to our east, we'll count our clockwise spin there. It's nothing tropical. That's an upper low east of New Orleans. That's going to track to the west over the next few days. That'll enhance our rain chances a little bit for Sunday. Like I said, 30% late today and tomorrow. We'll pop that to about a 40% coverage on Sunday. Some of this deeper moisture east of New Orleans gradually works on to the west. We'll show you that, of course, in a few minutes on our 7-day forecast coming up. Across the rest of the nation, boy, it's pretty quiet, especially in the southeast, the northeast looking good. Most of the southern plains out west looking real good. Have one storm system there, and Montana tracking toward the Dakotas and Minneapolis, seeing some showers and storms there, but pretty quiet elsewhere. Of course, you got your typical scattered activity from Louisiana to Florida, and that activity, as we said, will be drifting westward over the course of the next 2 to 3 days, giving us a little bit better coverage of showers on Sunday for sure. Notice the central part of the country fairly quiet as well. All right, let's take a look at the middle part of the atmosphere now. Very important in the summertime, and as we head into this evening, notice we do have some moisture in place. These little red spots here, that's weak lift in the atmosphere. Upper level disturbances working to the southwest. See how the ridge of high pressure is backing off? Yesterday, the core of the high was in the same place, but ridge axis was into Louisiana. It's backing off, so that should allow a few more showers to pop up later this afternoon, then again tomorrow, once again at around a 30% coverage. Remember all that moisture we showed you east of New Orleans all the way to Florida, lots of it off to our east. That's where the core of it will stay, even into next week. The deepest moisture is going to stay to our east, but our moisture levels, as we'll show you here in just a moment, will begin to increase. All right, as we head into tomorrow, another little disturbance coming in from the northeast, a little bit of moisture around to give us a 30% coverage of showers and storms again tomorrow. Notice high pressure still well to our west, and we'll move this on into Sunday. And here's that trough approaching that's east of New Orleans right now. Starts to move in. It's very weak, by the way. Starts moving in on Sunday, but notice our moisture levels getting a little bit better. So we'll up that to a 40% coverage of showers coming up for Sunday. This trough will weaken, move on shore early next week, but notice where the real deep moisture stays through Monday. Well off to our east. These oranges and red color there, that is very deep tropical moisture there at the Florida Panhandle. That'll stay to our east, but still enough moisture here locally with weak disturbances in that flow out of the northeast to keep those scattered shower and thunderstorm chances going. In fact, see more of a southerly flow in the mid-levels of the atmosphere on Monday. So definitely be some showers and storms scattered around. And there comes that deeper moisture as we talked about well to our east, even in the middle part of next week. On Thursday, we'll have a high pressure ridge out west, a weak one over the eastern Gulf, so that weakness continues over East Texas. Quite a bit of moisture there by Thursday of next week, so that'll keep those scattered shower and thunderstorm chances going. All right, rainfall totals between now and next Thursday and Friday, not real impressive. We're talking an inch or less. Most areas total. That's not a whole lot for 7 days, but if you're one of the areas that get underneath a shower or thunderstorm, let's say later today or tomorrow, or one day next week, you could see an inch of rain. That always happens. And of course, well off to our east, that's where the biggest rainfall totals to be expected over the course of the next week or so. And of course, some lighter amounts, the farther north you go up in the lakes area. All right, let's take a look at futurecast this afternoon. It's certainly developing some showers and thunderstorms across the area. Now, our other futurecast has a less coverage. This one has a pretty decent coverage coming up. Just notice at 3:30 this afternoon, a few widely scattered storms begin developing across southwest Louisiana, a few here and there in the lakes, one or two here in the triangle. But as we go out a little bit farther, that's at 4:30 this afternoon. It's pretty good little coverage there. So there'll be a few storms popping up later this afternoon. They'll be working on off to the southwest. And once we lose heating tonight, we'll lose the shower and thunderstorm activity. And speaking of overnight, not looking too bad, but very warm. We're talking still around 80 at 10 o'clock tonight. We won't drop much more than that. Probably upper 70s again for lows to the lower 80s along the coast. We'll start out your Saturday morning under mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Temperatures, as we said, upper 70s for lows. And notice as we head throughout the day, partly cloudy skies, get some heating going, and we'll see the development of a few showers and thunderstorms once again. We'll give it another 30% coverage coming up for your Saturday afternoon. High temperatures not quite as hot as today. Said mid-90s today. Should be in the lower to mid-90s tomorrow. All right, let's talk about the tropics. Good news for the Gulf. Not expecting anything in the Gulf of Mexico at least for the next 7 to 10 days. And that's great news. See, the system there is weakening off the Carolinas. The system here is still a decent chance it's going to develop about halfway between Africa and the Caribbean Sea. But notice our ensemble models take that to the north. Not going to get into the Gulf. That's great news. Now, there's going to be more waves, though, coming off Africa as we head toward the latter half of the month. There's one wave coming off now, and an early look at that. That one may turn as well. So that is great news. Of course, that's still a long ways out. Certainly you want to stay tuned for that. But as far as the Gulf of Mexico goes, I think we're in pretty good shape for the next week or two. And that'll get us almost to the end of August. So we're slowly getting there. Of course, we still got September. Sometimes can be an active month as well. But at least for the short to medium term, we're in great shape as far as the tropics in the Gulf of Mexico. Next 7 to 10 days, I would say right now, nothing in the Gulf. All right, let's take a look at your marine forecast. You plan on doing any boating this afternoon or over the weekend? Looks great. Now, it's going to be pretty hot, but not much wind out there. Southeast winds only around 5, 6, 7 knots the next couple of days. Seas only around a foot. And right now, winds pretty light, 8 with some gusts to 12, but it shouldn't be much more than that. Now, this afternoon, we'll give it a 20 to 30% coverage of showers and thunderstorms across the lakes and the triangle. Mid-90s for highs. It's going to be a hot one, so if you're outdoors, certainly drink plenty of fluids. It's going to be a hot one across the area. Tonight, pretty warm, upper 70s for lows under mostly clear skies. No rain is expected overnight. Very light winds out there. In fact, the winds, as we've seen the last few nights, have been relatively light to calm. Now, your 7-day forecast, temperatures right around 94 is the normal high for this time of the year. I know that's hot, that's mid-90s, but we do drop a degree or two as we head into the weekend, into next week. Not a lot, but a couple degrees makes a difference. And there will be some scattered storms each day, a 30% coverage today. Tomorrow we will jump that to 40% on Sunday, then back to 30% Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So one very typical summertime weather with highs in the 90s, lows in the 70s, and scattered thunderstorms each day is pretty normal. There will be a day or two here and there where there could be a little bit better coverage of showers and storms. That'll all depend on the wind direction above the surface and also moisture levels. But looks like at least minimum 30% over the next 7 days. Let's check our phone lines to see if we've had any text messages coming in. Nothing in so far. If you want to text us, question, comment, that number is 409-749-9302. Shoot us a text and we'll get back with you and answer your question or respond to your comment. Text 24/7. See that message. We'll get back with you on that. So if you have outdoor plans this weekend, of course, things look pretty good. Very typical summertime. If you have to be outside for a long period of time, and a lot of folks not yet going back to school, but they will be in the next week or two. The ones that haven't already, you may have one more weekend of some outdoor plans. Just keep an eye to the sky, because there will be some scattered storms each day, and a little bit better coverage there on Sunday, and it'll be hot. So plenty of fluids. Try to take those breaks if you're outdoors over the course of next 7 to 10 days anyway. Well, for the next couple of weeks, we're going to have